Now students, let me give you some of the examples from future perfect tense. But before that, let me remind you the rules of this future perfect tense. For future perfect tense, first you have to write the subject, then shall or will, after that have, then the third form of the main verb, okay? The past participle form of the main verb, then the rest of the sentence, okay? Now look at the first example over here. Mother will have cooked our favorite meal by dinner time. This is the first example. So mother, it is third person, okay? After that will, then have, then the third form of the main verb, cook, cooked, cooked. So that is why the third form or the past participle form of cook is cooked. So I have written here cooked, okay? Have cooked, then the rest of the sentence, our favorite meal by dinner time. This is the example of future perfect tense in assertive sentence. Now come to the second sentence. He will have talked to her by then. He will, he is the third person. After that will I have written, then have, then the third form of the main verb, talk is the main verb. The third form of the main verb is talked. Okay, the third form of talk is talked. Then the rest of the sentence. It is an example of future perfect tense in assertive sentence. Now come to the third example. She will have slept by 8 hours. She, it is the subject. This is third person. The subject is written in third person. She is the third person. After that will, then have, then slept. Actually the main verb is sleep. The third form of sleep is slept. Sleep, slept, slept. So that is why slept, then the rest of the sentence. Okay students? Number 4. Now come to number 4. They will have finished the book. They, it is the third person, plural number. After that will, then have, then finished, the third person. Okay, the third form. Okay, the past participle form of the main verb over here is written, finished. Then the rest of the sentence. It is an example of assertive sentence in future perfect tense. Now come to the fifth example. I shall not have met you. I, it is the first person. After that, because it is first person, that's why I have written here shall. After the subject I have written here shall. Then not. Why? Because I am giving an example from negative statement. Okay, so not, then have, then the third form or the PP form or the past participle form of the main verb, that is met, meet, met. So met, then the rest of the sentence, then full stop. Come to sixth example. It will not have stopped raining. It, third person, singular number. After that will, then not. After that have, then stopped. The main verb is stop. The past participle form of stop is stopped. Then the rest of the sentence, then full stop. Okay. Now come to the seventh example. It is an example of interrogative sentence in future perfect tense. Will he have finished his work by 5 o'clock? Will, at first I have written here will. The auxiliary verb over here is will, because he, it is a subject and the subject is in third person. So that is why I have written here will. After that the subject, then have, then the third form of the main verb, finished. After that the rest of the sentence, and at the end the question mark, because it is an example of interrogative sentence. Okay. Now come to eighth example. Will they have sent an email by tomorrow? So will is the auxiliary verb, okay, in future tense. After that the third form, it is written, the subject is written in third person. They, it is third person, plural number. After that have, then the past participle form of the main verb. Send, S-E-N-D, send. After that, sent, sent. Okay, past tense is sent, past participle also is sent. Okay, so I have written here sent, then the rest of the sentence, then question mark. 9 example. Example number 9. Will the concert have started? So the concert, it is the subject. So before the subject, we have to write the auxiliary verb because it is an example of interrogative sentence. So that is why will, concert is written in third person singular number. So that is why before concert we have to write will. After it, have. After the concert we have to write have. Then the past participle form of the main verb. Then the question mark. Okay. Will the concert have started? Next, number 10. Will they have arrived in China by next week? So they, it is the subject. So before the subject in third person we have to write the auxiliary verb. So the auxiliary verb over here is will. After that the subject is written in third person plural number. After that have. Then the past participle form of the main verb. Arrive is the main verb because it is third person. So that's why it is past participle form of the main verb. So that is why I have written here arrived. Okay. Arrived in China by next week. Then the rest of the sentence. And at the end the question mark because it is an example of interrogative sentence in future perfect tense. So what is the rule? First you have to write will, shall or will. After that the subject, then have, then the PP form of the main verb. PP form means the past participle form or the third form of the main verb. After that the rest of the sentence, then the question mark. Now students, we will discuss some of the examples from the future perfect continuous tense. But before the discussion, let me tell you about the rules of this tense. At first you have to write the subject, then will, then have, then been. After that the present form of the main verb, then ing. After that the rest of the sentence or object. Let me tell you again. At first you have to write subject, then will, after that have, then been, then the present form of the main verb, then ing, then the rest of the sentence. Okay. Now look at the first example over here. They will have been living in Paris for 5 years. So they, it is a subject. Okay. It is in third person. After that I have written here will. After have. After that been. Then the present form of the main verb live. Then I have added ing, living. Then the rest of the sentence and then full stop. This is an example of assertive sentence in future perfect continuous tense. Now come to the second sentence. He will have been reading the book since 10 a.m. He, it is a subject. The subject is written in third person singular number. After that will, then have, then been. After that the present tense of the main verb read plus ing, reading. Then the object, the rest of the sentence. He will have been reading the book since 10 a.m. Next, the third example. You will have been using my computer for 5 months. You, it is a second person. After that we have to write will, then have, then been, then the present form, then ing, that is using, then the rest of the sentence. You will have been using my computer for 5 months. This is an example of assertive sentence in future perfect continuous tense. Now come to the fourth sentence. He will not have been writing essays for 2 hours. Here he will not. Not is written. That's why this is an example of negative sentence. He, it is the subject, third person. After that will, then not, then have, after that been, then the present form of the main verb write plus ing, that means writing, then the rest of the sentence or object. Essays for 2 hours, this is the object. Then he will not have been writing essays for 2 hours. What is the rule? First subject, then will, then not, then have been, then present tense, after that ing, then the rest of the sentence. After that full stop. Now come to the fifth example, students. You will not have been living here for that long. Sorry, she will not have been. She, it is written in third person, singular number. After that will, then not, have been, living, verb plus ing, living. After that the rest of the sentence. Okay. Sixth example. We will not have been starting our business since January. So we, it is a first person plural number. After that will, then not. After that have been, then the present form start. After that ing, then the rest of the sentence. It is an example of negative sentence in future perfect continuous tense. Come to the seventh example. Will you have been studying English? Will. It is the auxiliary verb, future tense. After that, the subject you have to write you. That means it is written in second person. Then have been. After that, studying. Studying is the present form. After that, ing. Study plus ing. Studying. Then English, the object. Then the question mark. It is an example of interrogative sentence. Then what is the rule of interrogative sentence? First you have to write will, then subject, after that have, after that been, then the verb plus ing, then the rest of the sentence, and at the end the question mark will be there. Now come to number 8th example. Will the teacher have been teaching English for 10 years? So here will, it is the auxiliary verb. After that, the subject is the teacher. Okay. It is in third person. It is in third person. After that, have, been, then the verb plus ing, teaching, then the rest of the sentence. English for 10 years. This is the rest of the sentence or object. At the end, question mark. Now come to 9th example. Will it have been raining for 3 hours? So will, at first we will write, then it, third person singular number, have been, then verb, rain, then ing. For 3 hours it is the object. Will it have been raining for 3 hours? At the end, the question mark will be there because it is an example of interrogative sentence. Now come to the last example. Will the baby have been playing with the toys for 1 hour? Question mark. Will. At first we will start the sentence with will because obviously it is an example of interrogative sentence. So we have to start the sentence with an auxiliary verb. So auxiliary verb over here is will. Then the baby. It is written in third person singular number. The baby is third person singular number. It is a subject. Then have. After that been. Then verb. Play is the verb. Then ing. Okay. Then the rest of the sentence. With the toys for 1 hour. This is the rest of the sentence. Then the question mark. Then again I am repeating. What is the rule of the interrogative sentence in future perfect continuous tense? First you have to write will. Then the subject, then have, then been, then verb, the main verb or the present form of the main verb, then ing, then the rest of the sentence, then the question mark. Okay, I hope students that from all these examples you get to understand future tense quite well. Thank you, students.